Welcome viewers once again to this NPTEL lecture on education leadership. In the last class we are discussing about professional ethics and values in teaching. Today we will also continue this the same thing. Like every profession, the teaching profession in every country, they have their own code of conduct. Like in our country we have the NCTE for prescribing the code of conduct for the school teachers, AICTE for the college teachers, UGC for the university and the university college teachers. So we have also our own agencies to describe this, to narrate this. So this code is intended to be inspirational and should be treated as a living document. So, like we should not perceive this document, that means it is so exhaustive, it is so monotonous, it is so boring that that means nobody wants to read those things or go through these things in a complete form, because it is very exhaustive. Okay, but rather it should be inspirational. Whatever guidelines are there, it should be very inspirational. It should act. It should when we go through it, we should feel like as if it's a living document. And it actually explains our own experiences. So, with wide applications in the professional practice, hence we will automatically accept these things and adopt these for our own improvement, betterment and better professional practice. So, we should deal with it. It should be prepared in such a way that it should act as an educational tool. It should act as an educational tool to help the professional to redefine its values and solve the ethical dilemmas. Like it's like our Gitas, it's like our Bible, it's like our Quran. So our to resolve all our professional dilemmas, ethical conflicts in different situations. Like it's a dictionary, it's a dictionary, it's an educational tool to resolve all our ethical dilemmas and the values. And we get the guidelines, we get the direction how to resolve those conflicts. So, the process of ethical teaching should begin from pre-service studentship. So, that is why the process of ethical teaching or ethical teaching practices, it should begin from the very beginning, pre-service studentship. That is why pre-service education, pre-service teacher education for all kinds of teaching professions, like be it technical, non-technical, whatever, it is a mandatory component. It should be a mandatory component. So, during that studentship, during that pre-service orientation, all the prospective teachers should be oriented rigorously not only about the domain knowledge, but ethical standards, professional ethics, code of conduct, all kinds, even the managerial skills, even they should be well trained with evaluation skills, management skills, public relations skills and networking skills, leadership skills. So, that is a very important part, pre-service studentship for all kinds of teaching professions. So, the educational leaders also must incorporate ethical analysis as a part of their thinking and reasoning. As we have already discussed, the educational leaders, the teachers should be reflective practitioners. Similarly, as a part of their reflective thinking, reflective practice, they must incorporate also ethical analysis of all kinds of activities. Ethical analysis as a part of their thinking process and reasoning, as ethics is at the core of a given human enterprises. So, ethics is involved, ethics is inherent in all kinds of academic activities, be it research, you have to be ethical, be it teaching, you have to be ethical, be it examination, evaluation, assessment, you have to be ethical, be it an admission process, you have to transparent and ethical. So, everywhere ethical standards are required. So, as a part of ethical standard requirement, we have to incorporate this ethical analysis in our own reflective practice and reflective thinking. So, in the situations of ethical tension and dilemma, they can follow certain steps and resolve these to make the more effective decisions. Hence, all these, if these hallmarks, if these landmarks, if guidelines are there inherent in our professional handbooks, so it will help us in resolving our dilemma by following certain steps, certain steps to resolve this with the effective decision, by taking the decision which is right, most effective and which is sustainable, etc. So, in this way Patrick and Wigan they have recommended some of the some steps. What are those steps? We will discuss it. So, determine the first thing is the determine the nature of situation nature of situation. First of all, when there is any dilemma, ethical dilemma or any kind of moral conflict, etc., first analyze the situation, determine the nature of situation, what type of situation, whether it is the situation it involves any kind of administrative conflict, or it is related to the students admission, or it is related to the examination pattern, or it is related to students personal problems, dealing with the students personal problems, or what is the actual situation, because teaching and learning is very much contextual. Hence we have to, in order to identify any problem, we have to go into the depth of the causes of that realistic situation. So then they clarify the facts, then you identify the different components, facts, so these are the facts, then you make it separate, clearly isolate it, articulate it separately. So clarify the facts, identify the players, then who are the key or major players, role players here, whether it is between the authority and the staff, or it is between the teacher and the students, or it is between management and the public, or it is between, who are the major role players here. Then think of the several options for the actions. Then in order to resolve that, we have to again, it's like problem solving. It's maybe it may be a social problem, academic problem, administrative problem, or HR problem, whatever. So we have to think of its solution in terms of strategies, hypothesis, multiple possible solution. What could be the possible solution? Let us think about it when after a brainstorming session or think tank analysis, etc. Now we have identified, oh, this may be 1, 2, 3 solutions could be, possible solutions could be. Then we have to again evaluate each and every possible solution strategies that means evaluate its effectiveness and efficacy in terms of outcomes, consequences, its impact on others. So accordingly evaluate the options using different ethical approaches. So when we are evaluating the options that we have formulated, whether it is we have to evaluate it whether it is legally correct or not, whether it is morally correct or not, whether it is rational or not, logical or not, or it is, and another is that whether it is humanitarian or not. Sometimes what happens, legally we may be correct, legally we are following the rules and regulation, but morally we are not correct. Okay. So we have to maintain a balance between the legal perspective, moral perspective, its logical perspective, because you have to justify it, rational perspective, and again when we are resolving the players, the role players, the parties who are engaged in this conflict, they must also be satisfied and happy with it. We should bring a win-win kind of solutions. So ultimately it has to be humanitarian. That means whatever you do, our focus would be on for the not to just resolve the conflict, but it must have a positive impact on the people engaged, people involved in this process, in these conflicts. Similarly, other things are choose the best option, then choose the best option, explain your choices to others and colleagues, even though we select this is the best option after evaluating its pros and cons. Now explain the same thing to your colleagues and seek their opinions, their advices. Then work out how to implement the option. Yes, if you have selected the one option, then how you are going to implement it, apply it in the situation to resolve the conflict. So take the actions very carefully, evaluating its aftermath, its consequences, its outcomes, etc. So take the action carefully, evaluate, reflect, and learn for the future needs. So ultimately whatever solution you have applied, you have undertaken to resolve the conflict, then at the end again you re-evaluate it, reflect upon it, learn it for the future requirements. If in future similar situation or maybe some different situation takes place, then how we are going to deal with it. So it's a kind of learning experience with a solution of every ethical dilemma, moral dilemma. We are learning and gaining the new experience for which will be helpful for our future requirements. So it should be a continuous sustainable learning experience over the period of time. So in this context, again we are going to see this YouTube video. Let us see what it says to us.
My dear citizens of India, on the eve of the 60th Independence Day, I extend to you all at home and abroad my greetings and best wishes for your happiness and prosperity. I would like to share with the salient features of a typical model that has made a significant impact on social development. Jeevan Vidya experience. Jeevan Vidya is being practiced by Professor Ganesh Bagaria, IIT Kanpur, Professor Rajiv Sangal, Director, Triple IT, Hyderabad, and their teams. This scheme is concerned about addressing the basic causes of major problems of violence, corruption, exploitation, domination, terrorism, and war. It has been found that violent and antisocial behavior, unless dealt with care and with professionalism, could aggravate the extreme behavior. Jeevan Vidya develops tolerance for ambiguity, uncertainty in human contact by enabling self-knowledge that understand harmony in the self and the entire existence. The academicians could bring about a marked change even among the inmates of jails through the use of these techniques. Jeevan Vidya is a teachable human value based skill that can address inherent conflicts within the mind of the individual, within the families, in organization, and in public life. Inner conflict is the very essence of violence. For example, with the skills imparted, it would be possible to reduce the overall period of secondary education from 25,000 hours of teaching to 20,000 hours, since the children become more responsible and productivity conscious. These experiments can be outreached to influence many people by developing networks using ICT through our educational system that needs to pay increasing attention to this aspect of human development. This process of imparting self-knowledge would promote a learning atmosphere where this whole movement of inquiry into the knowledge, into oneself, into the possibility of something beyond knowledge would bring about naturally a psychological revolution. From this comes inevitably a totally different order in human relationship and therefore society as a whole. The intelligent understanding of the process itself can bring about a profound change in the consciousness of mankind.
So welcome again, viewers. Now we have just listened the our great educational leader, our past president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's lecture. There his opinion, his suggestions for the academicians and teachers of this country. Now who else can be a great education leader like him in our Indian context? Is a great education leader, and we were really lucky and fortunate enough to have had a president and a great teacher like him. So now in this context, before actually completing the session, I would like to say something about some of the education systems of country, like as we have discussed, the Finland's education system. Finland's education system is considered to be the best one in the world ranking. So then while going through their education system, I have found some of the specific features, special features for which it has become actually an excellent education system and remained in the number one system or top three position for the last so many years. So what are these their special features of their school education, that is K to 12. So thing is that what they follow, what sort of professional practice and pedagogical practice they do follow. I just want to sum up all these things. So first thing is that they don't allow their children, unless and until they reach 16 years, they don't allow their children to participate any kind of international IQ test or intelligence test or ability test. They don't allow their children to participate any kind of, or because they don't want to level their children, and they don't encourage them to participate any kind of international standard IQ test, general knowledge test or intelligence test. Rather they advocate, they encourage the children to go slow according to their own pace. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether they come from the low economic source or high economic groups. All the teachers, professional teachers at the school level, at least school level, that is K to 12. So they ensure equality and providing equal opportunity to all the children from every socio-economic background. So then again, as a matter of their cultural or their features, social features, cultural feature, there is also a low immigration. There is a low immigration in their country. Hence primarily the children, the students, the stakeholders from within their own country, and they don't compare their children with the international standard, with an international, what the Americans do, what the Korean children they do, or what the UK children they do. They never compare their children to any kind of international taste or with any country. And moreover, their teachers, the school teachers, they get highest prestige, social prestige, just like lawyers and doctors, etc. So in their society, the teachers are getting the high social prestige, even beyond the doctors and the lawyers and engineers also. So so teachers are highly respected in their society. Then again, so unlike Americans, they don't run for the number one position, because as you know, US is the individualistic societies. There everybody is encouraged to individually perform, achieve, excel, also in all kinds of things. So hence there is a huge competition to be the number one. But in Finland, they don't encourage their children to be the number one or compare with others. Rather they focus on their own, that means you go slow according to your own pace, according to your own ability, but fulfill your own imaginations and the dreams. So they say that go slow but follow your own dreams. They encourage the children to learn, to perform according to your own pace, according to your own level of understanding, according to your own potential, but you try to slowly fulfill your own dreams. So but again, another feature is that in Finland there is no private school. All the schools are public, and the children are bound to all the children across the society are bound to go to the public schools. But yes, public schools are very well off. It provides equal opportunity, equal infrastructure, equal care, equal service to all the children. So all the children in their country, they go to the public school, which is same for all. So and as we have said, they don't participate in any of the international tests, and Finland is number one in the world education, and or 1 or 2, 3, and in the top 3 in the world education ranking. Hence, as because there is no competition, there is no academic stress among the children, as there is no competition in their society, in their schools. So there is no stress. The academic stress is very less, is almost nil, neither for the teachers nor for the students. So their society is more homogeneous society. Their society is more homogeneous. So they don't. That is why they don't run for number one. And it is more child-centered vision. Their education has a child-centered vision. But in that child-centered education, the teachers play the pivotal role. The teachers plays a very key role and crucial role. The teachers have to be, so that is why the teachers have to be very competent, capable, and with positive attitude, teaching aptitude and love and commitment for that profession. So it is very difficult to be a teacher in Finland. As because the teachers, they get high value and prestige of the society. So the Finland government is also, they are very particular, they are very keen on selecting the people for these professions. And for entering into this profession, the standard is also very high. The qualifications, they must have at least possess the master's degree and 3 years teacher education training. They have to have master's degree and 3 years teacher training. The teachers are committed to their professionalism. They get thoroughly trained during this pre-service teacher training program. So and the teachers work in every aspect. Teachers works in curriculum. Teachers works in the parent counseling, parent child association, then the students counseling, co-curricular activities, STEM teaching like science, technology, engineering, mathematics. At the same time, they also expose their students for some kind of internship in school education itself. So they also expose their students to some kind of internship, that is to give them some kind of exposure and experience about the reality. So during the schooling years itself, the students, they are doing practicing some or other kind of job experiences also. Then the primary focus of their teaching practice and the pedagogy is that it should be a collaborative learning. All the teachers and the students, they learn collaboratively, so in the small groups, teams, etc. Collaborative learning and continuous communication dialogue, continuous communication and dialogues between teachers and students, between teachers and the parents, teachers and administrators, that is a continuous practice, and their approach is primarily problem solving. So collaborative learning, problem solving approach, and communication and dialogue, constant communication and dialogue are the pedagogical, you can say, the keywords, buzzwords. Now, how can so their focus is always how can we go together for the children's education. It is not just that I will achieve high marks, he will achieve high marks, or I will get the best teacher award, or she will get the best. It is not that. How can we go together towards our excellence, towards the professional excellence, towards the academic excellence. So, you can say in this way that in Finland's education system, teachers are the nerve centers. Teachers are the nerve centers of their child-centered education, and again they have the culture of trust also. As because the teachers are highly educated, they are well trained, well educated, very oriented towards professionalism. They are also the committed professionals. They are highly respected in the society. So, there is a culture of trust. That means those who are the teachers in the education system means people trust them. So, there is a high level of mutual trust. So, in that mutual trust among all the stakeholders in education system, the school, and again in the school hours also, it is not that their teaching hours is not very much overloaded. So, 5 hours in school is education, 5 hours only teaching, more leisure, rather the students are exposed to more leisure, less teaching load, like 5 hours only and more leisures. So, and teaching for them, teaching and learning is just a fun. It's a fun. It's to enjoy. So, all kinds of activities like as a part of day to day practice, like they're sleeping together, they're playing, they're doing the lab, they're creating something, they're they are also participating in different kinds of dramas, then engage themselves in different kinds of aesthetics and artistic and the other kinds of indoor games, outdoor games. So, teaching is for them is just a fun. It's a very enjoying or happy learning experiences to which both the teachers and the learners are they are enjoying their whole the whole day even though they are in the school for the whole day, but the actual teaching hours is less, but other activities, the community activities, all kinds of activities are very high, and they are really enjoying it. So, it is very difficult, it is very hard to be a teacher in actually Finland, but once you enter into that system, that education system, rest assured that your life will be you will be very great, it will be very satisfying, it is very successful both for the teacher, for the learners as well as for the parents. Parents also, that means if they have sent the children to the school, they are in a total relaxed, because they have maintained that uniformity and quality. Like all the children should go to the same public school, same type of public school, no private schools are entertained there. So, no disparity, no inequality. Students from all economic background, they will enter into the same school, which is the public school, and government takes care of enriching that public schools and giving opportunity and equal infrastructure, access, resources to all the schools. So, I think that we should learn so many things from their education system. So, I am really happy that such a nice education system exists, and we should also compare. We should also try our level best to improve our own education system, school system, college system. So, it is not bad actually to that means to invite the private sectors to enter into the education system, but to enter into the higher education or the school education. Nowadays, we are having so many international schools, public school, this and that, but we have to maintain a parity, we have to maintain the uniformity, we have to maintain the quality. So, we is going to ensure that quality. So, it is not just the government's responsibility, we the stakeholders are having the same responsibility. So, in this way, I just want to motivate all my fellow teachers or fellow viewers, the learners, the students who are that means in this profession or they want to enter into this profession. They should be very committed, they should be very dedicated. First of all, they should love this profession. So, automatically all the things will fall into place, because I being a teacher, I also feel that I get immense satisfaction from this. and I also wish that all of you should also get some tips, some ideas, and some you fulfill some of your dreams if you enter into this profession, and also try to uplift the whole education system of our country. Okay, thank you very much.